Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Cloud Nerchuko. My name is Fanindra. In this video, I will show you how to mirror Azure SQL database to Fabric OneLake. So let's get started with this today's video. So before mirroring the database, we will discuss about the prerequisites which we need, and also then we will go on to Microsoft Fabric and do the mirroring. Um, so let's just jump on to the prerequisites. So before at the source end, you need to have a SQL server with SQL authentication or Azure Enter authentication, either enabled, and also you need to enable your system assigned managed identity on the SQL server. So these are the two main points needed on when creating a SQL server, and also you need a SQL database which hosts your a single database having all the tables and all. And then the fourth one is network access should be enabled to allow the Azure resources to connect to your SQL server, having your hosted database. Uh, and then when you are creating a SQL database, you have an option to choose the default database on Azure SQL, which is AdventureWorks LT. If you don't want to use this, this default database, you can also create your own database on Microsoft Azure. And then after checking on the prerequisites, then we will do the lab on Microsoft Fabric mirroring. And these are the points which we'll do when we are on Microsoft Fabric. So just before jumping onto the Microsoft Fabric, just let me show you my source side. So on my source side, I have created a SQL server. So you can able to see here. See, the name of the SQL server is SQL DB mirrored. So this one I created, and you can see the server admin name on the right hand side, Cloud Nerchuko. And let me show you the identity which I set to uh, system assign manage identity to status to on. And then I have networking. You need to enable your this option which allows the Azure resources to connect to the server and access the data. And uh, and the next the SQL database which I created. So this is currently online, and the pricing tier is general purpose serverless, and the hardware is Gen 5 standard series with 1 V core. So this is about this SQL DB, and you can see the server name also here. So before jumping onto the lab, let me show you the database using the query editor. So I'm using SQL Server authentication. So just let me give my password. So once you entered your password, you will be able to see your tables. So these are all the tables which are available on your default AdventureWorks database. And you can see I'm selecting customer. So just let me select it. You can see the data is available in my SQL DB. So this the tables, whatever you are able to see here, we can mirror the same tables of onto Microsoft Fabric OneLake. Okay, so just let me go to my Fabric. So this is my Fabric workspace, and I'm using a free trial version. And just let me create a new workspace for this practice. Just let me give SQL DB SQL DB mirror, and then just click on apply. So it will create a new workspace, and click on new item to create a mirror SQL database. So here it is mirror SQL database. So click on it, click on this, and you need to provide your server name, the database name which you are going to connect, As it is a single database, you just need to provide your database name, and then you can create a new connection to this SQL DB so that mirroring will happen in the real time. And then if your Azure SQL DB is on any on-premises or any Azure virtual network, you need to create your gateway and then connect to the Azure SQL DB. So for now, we don't have our resource on any private network. So we need to use basic authentication to provide username and password to log in to connect to the SQL database. Okay, let me copy this server name. So this is my server name and database name SQL DB mirroring, and just let me create one more connection. So and the username cloud Nerchuko, and then password I'm giving. So once you give your username and password, just click on connect. So now the connection is happening. Once the identification is completed, you will be able to see all the tables present in your SQL database and what type of tables that I can successfully mirror to the fabric are also displayed here. Okay, so you can see there are only 12 tables available in my SQL DB, and you can only mirror only up to 500 tables onto Fabric OneLake, and that is the limitation. So for more limitations on mirroring the SQL DB, so you can just check out whatever the data types which are not available supporting in Microsoft Fabric, which built on top of OneLake using Delta Parquet format. So these are all the column levels which are not supported in Microsoft Fabric OneLake. So make sure these data types are not available. Otherwise, these are not supported. So in the default database, there is a user-defined data type which is not supported in uh, this Fabric only. So you can see here sales lt dot address. Just hover over it. So you will see a warning that this table contains unsupported column, which is genvarchar user-defined data type. So these columns will not be replicated onto the data. So just let me connect it. I leave this option as it is. So this will automatically fetch your future tables which are created in your SQL database automatically. And then click on connect. Leave the name as it is. Click on create mirror database. Okay. So while it is creating your mirror database, it will provision uh, the SQL Analytics endpoint, and also it will configure the replication, and it will also start the replication. So once it is created, you can query the data present in your OneLake, all the tables whichever populated or mirrored onto Fabric OneLake. So here I am on the home page of the mirrored SQL DB, and you can see the status changed from started to running. So now the sync is happening between my SQL database to Microsoft Fabric OneLake, and you can see the database ID and the source and my connection, which I use it to connect to my SQL DB. And you just click on query in T-SQL, or you can change the analytics endpoint here. So basically, when I was trying to create the same thing for Azure Cosmos DB, so the reflection of the mirrored tables or containers, it is taking some time to get reflected onto your Microsoft Fabric OneLake, so that it will be available for querying or doing some other actions on using your analytics endpoint. So for example, let me refresh it. and just click on new query. If I start to type select star from sales lt dot customer. So if you run it, so it will show you the error because the replication is not yet completed. So I will show you the table name which is same or not in MySQL DB. So just go to the query editor and just let me authenticate. So just click on my tables and you can see sales LT capital LT dot customer C capital. So the same thing I mentioned here, sales LT and dot customer. So just run it. So it is still displaying the error and it took almost 1.383 seconds. So basically it will take some time to reflect your whole database related tables so that the syncing is happening in the backend. So just we'll wait for a few more seconds and query again. Before that, let me refresh. Let me run this one more time. So still not reflected. Let me run one more time. We'll wait for a few more seconds. Okay. Once it is taking time and it is connected to my SQL DB and it is querying from my OneLake. So you can see right now the data is not displayed. Just we'll run one more time. So now you can see initially it took 10 seconds. Now it took 1 second, greater than 1 second to load my data. And let me check the total number of rows present in my OneLake. Count of star. Just run it. So right now we have 845 rows present in my customer table. So I will try to delete one row from my SQL DB. So just go to your customer and edit it. So I will delete some 84 or 88 I can delete. So just delete the row and save that. So it is updated successfully and go to your fabric and just run this. So again, it will also take few more seconds to load your updated data or deleted data from your SQL DB so that it replicates the data in near real time to your OneLake, and then it will start displaying your data when you query using your SQL Analytics endpoint. So just run one more time. So now it is updated. So it definitely taking few more seconds, not in exactly 1 second like that. So definitely take. As of now, I'm using free trial, but I don't know how it will work in the pay as you go or Azure subscription when you purchase the capacity in Fabric. So that still needs to be tested. But as concerned on considering one free trial, this is the time taking on like creating a new SQL DB mirror database and populating the data onto SQL Analytics endpoint, and then whenever we update the database on SQL DB and checking on the into the fabric, so it is taking few more seconds than expected. So this is all about the hands-on, which we created a SQL DB. Once the data is replicated, you can query your data using all the tables which you can see here. So you can see only these two tables are earlier supported. Whatever the column that we are able to see it, and the remaining tables are not populated here, but we are able to query the data from the SQL Analytics endpoint. Okay, and this is about this mirroring in SQL DB. Thank you for watching the video.